Cleaning Nation, welcome to another episode of the Grow My Cleaning Company podcast. As always, I want to start the show by telling you that you are awesome human beings. I do what I do, we do what we do here because we love you, and I have been where you've been. Owned a business for the last 20 years. I know the struggles of trying to get employees, keep them happy, find customers that aren't pains in the neck, make payroll, all that good stuff. And I'm here to make your life just a little bit easier. And I'm able to do it because you are such an amazing community. Thank you for sharing, subscribing, rating, reviewing, all the good stuff that you guys do allows us to do what we do here. And I am truly, truly, truly thankful for you as human beings. Today, we are chatting with one of you human beings from Cleaning Nation, Matt Reese from Security Cleaners. Security Cleaners has been serving the Seattle area with commercial cleaning service for 10 years now. Matt, welcome to the show.
Hey, Mike, it's great to be here.
Glad to have you. And we were talking a little bit beforehand, and Matt let me know. I was like, hey, 10 years in the business, congratulations. Like, well, I still do all my own cleaning. I said, fantastic. I'll give you a congratulations and then yell at you in the same breath, as is my custom. Tell us about that, man. How did you get into the business, and how did you make it 10 years? Did you ever have employees and kind of give up on it? Did you never have employees or try and give up? Give us a little background.
Sure, of course. Yeah, I first started getting into the cleaning business. I was in high school. It was my senior year. I was doing high school and college classes, sort of a running start program. And, I was being raised by a single mom, so I needed to pay rent. I needed to start making money. And I just started to put feelers out where would be a good place to start. And I know I have a friend who's in the cleaning business. He's actually been on your podcast before, who lives in the area.
Oh, what's his name?
And I started working for him.
I'll link to his show notes page.
Yeah, it's Joseph Suldawn with ProClean.
Yeah, I remember him. Okay.
Yeah, he actually with the trucking and industrial places, and he actually turned me onto your podcast.
Oh, fantastic! Thank you, Joseph. If you're listening, thank you very much. Appreciate you, brother. Go ahead.
Yeah, he'll be listening. So early on in my business, I was talking to somebody who knew the ins and outs of starting a business, and he was telling me, well, when you hire employees, you need to set up your business this way, and it's better to do it as an LLC, and you've got to get a payroll going and go to the state and set yourself up for all this and that. And I thought to myself, because I didn't know anything about a business, I was 19, I thought that sounds like a pain in the neck. I'm not going to do any of that stuff until I absolutely have to.
Okay.
And now I'm at the point where I absolutely have to, and I wish I did it 9 years ago.
Well, a couple things. First of all, I've been actually thinking about putting out a webinar or some sort of training on that topic. So if you guys, gals, listeners, human beings, watchers, everyone out there within the sound of my voice, if that's something that you would like a more in-depth, I'm going to hook you up best I can with Matt, but if you'd like, in the time that we've got, but if you want a webinar or training or more information on really just how to get started with how do I make a logo? How do I get a website? How do I open a bank account? How do I get an EIN? Is a sole proprietor fine? Do I need to be LLC? What's this talk about, sub S elections? Liability insurance, general workers' comp. How do I, all this I shouldn't say nonsense, but the stuff that can overwhelm, I'm going to help you out best I can in time that we've got, Matt. But Cleaning Nation, if that's something you want/need, email Natalie at nat at growmycleaningcompany.com and say, hey, I was listening to the podcast. Tell Mike to get off his lazy butt and help me out with this getting started piece, and I will put something together for you. All right. So what I hear you saying, Matt, is it's been 10 years. You're like, I want to do all of that kind of headache. That is all that stuff I just mentioned with the W-2s and the EIN and the incorporating. Is that kind of does that encompass the headache you're talking about, or did I take it a different direction?
You hit my headache right on the head. Okay,
good. That's my job here, is to put you into a tremendous amount of pain and discomfort, and then hopefully get you out in the 20 minutes that we got. All right. Good. So, A, I feel that pain, and it can be a little overwhelming. B, the good news is it's not that hard. If you've got someone that can walk you through it, it's not rocket science. It's very doable. You don't have to be a genius, and you just have to take it step by step. And when you kind of have it unpacked, it's not so bad. Go ahead.
Yeah, I was going to say too, in the past year, it really became apparent because, I gradually ramped up with clients. I got to where I was working like 40 hours a week doing cleaning. Since February, my situation changed. My mom's in her 70s. She's moved in with me. I've taken on some extra expenses. I took on another big building. So since February, I've been working like 60 hours a week.
Okay.
And there was another cleaner that walked into one of my buildings, and she called me. She was like, I like the job you're doing. I'm retiring. I have some more clients that I'd love to pass off if you'd like to take them. I met with one of them. They're my client now, but another, I actually had to turn down work because I just didn't have time in my schedule.
Okay.
And I didn't really see a path forward as far as hiring people. because I feel like so strapped for time. How would I train someone? I set up my business terribly when I was 18, so the whole thing is paying my personal expenses the way I had it set up. So I didn't feel like I had money to spare, and that's when I stumbled across your podcast, and I started to see a path forward. I think was it Michelle Reed, her episode on hiring your first employee really opened my eyes as to the kind of stuff I needed to do. So
beautiful. And for everybody listening, like I said, you just go to iTunes or growmycleaningcompany.com. You can get access to, I think, hundreds of episodes all for free. Definitely check that out. All right. So Matt, again, I'm guessing if based on what you told me in terms of, hey, I've been doing this 10 years, I haven't hired anyone, I'm not happy with how I set it up financially, I can't take on new clients, I'm working too hard. It sounds like we might have 4 or 5 different problems converging at once. Instead of trying to solve them all on this podcast, which would be totally irresponsible, let's try and carve one little piece out. If we could just get one of what one thing is kind of the most on fire that I could help you with the most right now to at least give you, if not every step, at least the next step forward.
Well, yeah, I've done a lot of that homework too. I've been listening to your podcast every day. So I've narrowed it down to, I think the biggest thing right now is I need to raise my prices.
Okay, good.
Which for me is kind of a scary situation. I have no problem with the idea of raising them, but my biggest client that I have, it's one big property manager, and they have 2 big buildings that I do right now. That's about 80% of my income.
Okay.
So sending out a letter to them that just says, hey, by next month, your prices are now X, they're going to be Y. I don't have a system set up in place where I'm regularly attracting clients where I can handle it if one of my clients drops.
Well, one of them, yes, not that one, right? So I would amend. I don't know that you're quite ready, and I never say this. I'm always the first to go, let's raise those prices. That said, I don't know that you're quite ready to raise prices on that, at least on that one client, just because I don't like asking permission to raise prices, right? We can't do the, hey, this is the new price. Well, we're not paying that. Oh, okay. I was just kidding. Never mind. Please don't fire me. That's a bad vibe. Go ahead.
And the funny thing about it is they really like me. Like I even got a note from the receptionist of one of the buildings who was like, we're so glad that you're our cleaner. But on the one hand, I'm sure they like me because I haven't raised prices in years. And when I got the first big building that they have, I was, it was under construction. I was cleaning it as people moved in. And then they told me, hey, we're going to have the whole contract redone to service the whole building. And I got underbid. And they told me that. So where I should have, if I had those systems in place for attracting new clients, I just should have said, well, good luck with these other cleaners that are going to clean it for way less. I'm sure you'll call me later when you realize the quality has dropped. I didn't have the confidence to say that. I thought I can't get another client in that amount of time. I need that. So I just I didn't go down to the price that they wanted, but I went closer to it. And I've been regretting it ever since.
God bless it. Okay. Yeah. And if you're cleaning it yourself, yeah, that's, there's a lot of things wrong with that. All right. Let's again, take this in order. Problem number 1, as I see it, is, and this is not just for Matt, anyone listening, I get very uncomfortable if any one client represents more than 15% of my revenue. So if I'm a $10,000 a month company, I really don't want clients more than $1,500. So again, I don't know your revenue, but let's just use that $10,000 range. That means one client would represent $8,000 of your $10,000 revenue. We can't have that. And there's 2 ways to fix that. One's painful and one's less painful. Painful is fire them, right? And voila, problem solved. We'll create a bunch of other problems, but that problem solved. 2 is we dilute them by hiring other clients. So that of all the things that you've told me, that's probably the most concerning. That's the one I'd probably address first. And I would really, 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 really want to get as quickly as possible to the place where we can dilute them, take on other clients. And I don't think that there's any way you're going to be able to do that without hiring people. So the way I see it, that's the raising price question that you gave me. If we were doing one, and again, I need more information, but from the little bit of information I have, if you were my one-on-one client, I would probably have that be step 3. Step 1 being, let's find some other cleaners that can do that work for you. Cause there's no way you can work 24/7, right? I'm assuming these places closes at 5. If you're the only one cleaning, you're working till 9, 10, 11, 12. and then to expect yourself to go to sleep and then wake up and work some more. You don't have a full-time job, correct? Is this your complete income at least?
Well, like Wednesday, I'll work 7 to 7 because I've got 3 buildings on Wednesday. So I'll just start at 7 when they're closed and I'll work till 7 in the morning. So yeah, I mean, I was thinking what I could do is just start getting other clients and hiring a cleaning contractor to do those. So that would start getting me a little bit of leverage so I can start hiring more people.
Yeah, that's one way to go about it. I think that would be better than nothing. But my 2 cents again,
Right.
if I was working with you, I'd have you hire one W-2 person, and I'd have you hire one W-2 person, clean with him or her, and of course that's going to cut your pay a little bit, but it's going to half your time ideally once they're trained. If it's taking you on average 5.5 hours a night to clean, you can clean in 2 or 3 nights, and now you've got time during the day to start selling. So step one would probably be to hire. I don't know that I'd do a contractor because there's not enough. I would just hire my first employee. Step two would be to use that time, that free time, to start selling, right? Because that's going to do 2 things. One, it's going to make up from some of the margin you're losing hiring that employee. 2, it's going to start diluting this 80% account, right? If you're if you're 10 grand and you've got one client that's $8,000 a month, well, if you get to 20 grand, that client's now still $8,000 a month. You're now down to, he's half as valuable to you, and you can get to the point where you're like, hey, now I can raise prices. And if they quit, they quit. So that would be the 3-step I would put you in. One, we've got to get somebody hired. Are you a member of the Clean Profit Method yet?
I am. I love, all the workshops and the whole thing. I got on last month.
Fantastic. So you've got, I love that because I don't feel guilty for leaving you. You at least have we're in the group together, and B, step 7 is where you're going to want to start. And again, feel free to, if you've got any troubles or you get stuck, post that in the Facebook group. But step 7 is what's going to start getting enough applicants. We're going to put you through the process. So that's where I started in the Clean Profit Method. Most folks, I like having you start at step 1 and go all the way through 9. But that's really, if you're just beginning, you don't have anything set up, that's a good way to go. Or if you're somewhat stable and you're like, okay, I just want to grow healthily, that's a good way to go. If you're in an emergency situation like you're in, like, oh my gosh, I've got one client that's 80%, I'm working 60 hours a week, I'm not making enough money, you get permission to start at step 7. I would really encourage you to.
Fantastic. Because I was looking at the first few steps. I've been listening to the videos and I've been thinking, I don't know if I should be starting here. So wonderful.
Not that any of it's going to hurt you. It's all very helpful. They all go together. And honestly, steps 1, 2, and 3 are foundational. So I'm not saying skip them and never come back. I'm saying at least look at step 7. Let's take the next week or two to get these applicants coming in. And then once you've got that, the foundations of that started, then go back to steps 1, 2, and 3. But for you, first and foremost, is going to be get an employee. Get your first one. Use the community. And again, I can talk to you a little bit offline and walk you through that. It's not as big of a process as it sounds. We're going to use other vendors and tools that can kind of help you to take a lot off your plate. But step 1 for you is just kind of overcome the fear and let's get an employee. Step 2 is going to be probably hiring a second employee and taking the time, your newfound time, to start selling. And then step 3 is going to be to go to this large company and raise prices confidently, knowing if they leave, you've got so much more opportunity. You can just replace their $8,000 with $8,000 of profitable work. And maybe it takes you 2 or 3 months. But right now, maybe that $8,000 is making you $2,000 in gross margin. You can replace it with work that's making you $4,000 in gross margin, and it takes 2 or 3 months of transition and work. But now you've got that good gross margin till the end of time, and you don't replace it with one massive client. You replace it with 4 or 5 smaller clients. So a lot of good things will start kind of avalanching together. But it all starts with, you've got to free yourself up. The way to do that is to hire an employee. The way to do that is step 7, Clean Profit Method. Good. I feel like that's the rant I needed to give. Is that enough? Are you good to move the lightning round? Do you have any other questions?
That is incredibly helpful just to know. I kind of knew those steps, but which order to put them in and how important they are, it really is helpful to know that. So that's good. That's fantastic.
Cool. All right. Good. Then let's hit the lightning round. I'm going to ask you a couple questions, give you the opportunity to share some of your experience with our listeners. Question number 1, what's the best piece of advice you've ever received, personal or professional?
My best piece of advice is actually pretty recent. It was, don't confuse being a perfectionist with just being afraid.
I like that. That's really good. I'm going to say that again. Don't confuse being a perfectionist with just being afraid. I think I've done that before. Like, oh, I got to get it perfect. The reality was, no, I'm afraid to just put it out and come with me. I like that a lot. Whoever said that, kudos, wise. Question number 2.
You did.
Oh, I agree with me. That's fantastic.
Yep.
Sorry about that. I feel bad, breaking my arm, pat myself on the back. What's the biggest mistake you've made in the cleaning business so far? So maybe we can all learn from one another.
Oh man, I've made tons of mistakes. So we're looking at it. All the major mistakes I think can be traced back to not charting and plotting out my course beforehand, not just taking the time to sit down and write a timeline and write everything down and break it down into goals. I didn't do any of that. And if I did that, I would not be where I am today. I'd have a thriving business with lots of employees.
Matt, you're killing me. I wish I would have met you just a couple of years ago. I think we could have gotten you a lot better place. And that's step 1 of the clean profit method. So I hate to give you 2 things at once. Go to, start with step 7. Once you get that first employee, go back to number 1. And that's one of the first things we're going to do is get goals set for you. So you've got a plan and a charted path. And if you're in the community, you can get some accountability. All right, last question. What's one idea Cleaning Nation can put into practice right away? Something that they can implement immediately, as soon as the show's over, that'll make their lives or their business just a little bit better.
Sure. This may seem small, but either if you're doing the cleaning or you have a team of cleaners, make sure any piece of equipment that can break in the middle of the night and you can't go to the store and get a new one, have backups of it. Either have it in the car with the cleaners or have them on site, whether it's spray bottles, whether it's whole vacuums or mops. Always make sure you got backups.
Cleaning Nation, sounds like not a big deal until it's midnight and you're going, dang it, I wish I would listen to Matt. And if you can't get a backup plan, right? If you're not going to have double vacuums or carry extra stuff, fine, but at least know what you're going to do in terms of, is this something we just let the people know our vacuum broke and we're going to double up tomorrow, but we didn't do it, or we're going to find it. But whatever, if you don't have the physical equipment, which is the best idea, at least have a plan on how to deal with that. Certainly, so you don't have $10 an hour cleaners in the middle of the night trying to figure out what to do, have that plan for them. All right, Matt, I really appreciate you joining us. I love your vibe. I'm so honored to have you part of our community. Thank you for sharing your experience, your passion, your knowledge. I appreciate you. I know the Cleaning Nation appreciates you. Cleaning Nation, if you want to check out Matt's show notes page, all the podcasts we've done, all the resources we have for you to grow your cleaning company, it is all at growmycleaningcompany.com. Check it out now. I will see you there.
Congratulations! You are now 16% smarter. Still can't get enough cleaning goodness? Go to www.growmycleaningcompany.com for more of the good stuff. Ever want to be rich and famous? Owners of cleaning companies as well as industry experts can apply to be featured on the show by emailing our producer Natalie at support@growmycleaningcompany.com. Until then, don't miss out on all the latest cleaning industry lovin' at www.growmycleaningcompany.com. Check it out now.